A reading from the Gospel according to John. Now before the festival of the Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The devil had already put it into the heart of Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray him. And during supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, got up from the table, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was tied around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "You do not know now what I am doing, but later you will understand." Peter said to him, "You will never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "One who has bathed does not need to wash except for the feet, but is entirely clean. And you were clean, though not all of you." For he knew who was to betray him. For this reason he said, "Not all of you are clean." After he had washed their feet, had put on his robe, and had returned to the table, he said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for that is what I am. So if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have set you an example, that you also should do as I have done to you." The word of the Lord.
So it's Maundy Thursday, a day that is normally full of action, where we gather at the church and experience a service unlike really any other in the church year. We do a lot normally in this service. We wash feet, which is different, right? We put a lot more emphasis on the Eucharist, because tonight is the night that the first Eucharist was celebrated as Jesus broke bread with his disciples for the last time. And then we sit in stunned silence as the clergy and altar party strip, one by one, our most sacred of spaces in our churches bare. All the color, all the objects, the candles, the light, everything is taken away as a powerful reminder that Jesus is taken away from his friends in the garden and brought before Pontius Pilate in a powerful anticipation of what the next day will bring. But of course, we don't get to do all those things today. We're in our homes. And most of us don't have altars in our homes, or at least altars that we're used to. But we do have sacred spaces in our homes, and we can still wash one another's feet. And I hope that you take a moment to do that later in the service, because Maundy Thursday, as I grew up thinking, does not mean Monday Thursday, not some weird day that we chose to call a certain thing, but it comes from the Latin mandatum, mandate, commandment, because Jesus tells his friends to do something. He doesn't tell them to think something. He doesn't tell them to believe something. He doesn't tell them to write one another friendly text messages. He doesn't tell one another to limit their love for one another in thoughts and prayers. Those things are important. But what Jesus does is tell his friends to do what I have just done for you. Embody your love for one another in concrete action. Action that can sometimes be uncomfortable. I'll be honest with you, washing feet is uncomfortable, even with loved ones. I think most spouses will agree, you love your beloved, but their feet are pretty gross. But Jesus loved his disciples, loved his friends, and wanted us to remember that love is as much a verb as it is a feeling. And to love someone means to love all of them. Their beautiful bits and the parts of them that, their feet, their imperfections, the things that most of us like to cover up, put a sock and a shoe on those nasty feet. Jesus calls us to love one another in our entirety, in the totality of who we are as people. So feet are personality traits, those things that can get gross and can be off-putting. We are to love those too. We're to wash them, to help one another cleanse the parts of us that need cleansing. A reminder that even when we come into contact with things that are soiled by this world, whether it's the dirt from a long journey on your feet, or the way that we can lose hope and embrace cynicism and see the world in a way that is not first and foremost as one created by a loving God, but one dominated by the power of empire. We are called to love this world, to love one another. We are commanded to do those things. We are commanded to wash one another's feet. We're commanded to wash one another's personality traits and attitudes, worldviews, those things about the other that need to be cleaned, so that perhaps we can see the world with fresh eyes, with eyes that help us see the world the way Jesus saw it, as one that was not too dirty to stoop down, take off the sandal, and wash clean again. My prayer for you this Maundy Thursday, and as we enter the 3 holiest days of our year, is that you wash one another's feet. You love one another as Jesus loved his friends and loves us. None of us is so dirty, so far gone, that we cannot find a way to love, to stoop down and wash clean with living water. We have work to do in this world. We have love to do in this world. And while we have to wait a little bit before we can actually roll up our sleeves and do that, as we hole up in our homes and pray for a swift end to this virus, once the coast is clear, once we can emerge and be together again, we are called to love. Let us not forget that. Called to love. Amen.
The Lord Jesus, after he had supped with his disciples and had washed their feet, said to them, "Do you know what your Lord and Master have done to you? I have given you an example that you should do as I have done."
Peace is my last gift to you. My own peace I now leave with you. Peace which the world cannot give, I give to you.
I give you a new commandment: love one another as I have loved you.
Peace is my last gift to you. My own peace I now leave with you. Peace which the world cannot give, I give to you.
Hold that. How about I do the water and you can kind of rub his feet? Does that sound like a good plan?
Yes.
Good. Rub his feet. Good job. Good one.
What is that?
Yes. All right, you want to switch and get up here? All right, Rob, you want to come help? Ready? Let's try his feet. Ready? You put him up here, Rowan.
What is that? By this shall the world know that you are my disciples, that you have love for one another.